So this is my first video book talk on The Road by Cormac McCarthy. So far we've read 100 pages of the book, and at this point we have been introduced to the two main characters, a father and a son, who remain nameless throughout the 100 pages, which I think is cool because it kind of gives a setting to the story that they don't even have like an identity, and the reader doesn't know their identity really. So it kind of sets the scene because the book takes place in an apocalyptic world where everything is kind of dysfunctional. The two main characters are constantly in survival mode, and they don't even really know where their next meal is going to come from. So the setting of the story is in America, and we've guessed that it's a northern part of America because in the text it indicates that it is constantly snowing and it is always freezing, which provides struggles for the father and son because they're always struggling to make a fire or find shelter just to stay warm and survive, and so that they don't, let's say, die of hypothermia. So that gives a good setting to the story. So the relationship between the two main characters is a father-son relationship, like I said previously, but I feel that it's a lot more and crucial to the story because these two characters are each other's motivation to live, and they wouldn't be alive without each other. So they're the reason each other wants to live, because we are told halfway through our reading that the wife or the mother committed suicide and just felt that she didn't have a will to live anymore, so she just killed herself. And I feel that the bond that the father and son has is quite special because they overcome so much, and they kind of have different roles as the story goes on. For example, the father is kind of like the hunter and the provider, and the boy is just kind of like the supporter, and he's just always there for the father, and the father's always there for his son. So, since we've predicted that the setting of the story is in a northern place in America, the text always mentions that the father and son are trying to go to the south. And my group and I have discussed this, and we feel that the south is kind of like a safe haven, and that is their only hope, really, and that their main goal is to follow this road to the south, because we feel that there's either survivors there, or just for the fact that there's warmth, maybe food, and that's kind of like their main goal, is just to reach the south. So, since our group has only read 100 pages, we can't come to a conclusive decision as to what the theme of the book is, but we have decided that the theme of the 100 pages that we've read is to appreciate what you have and to be grateful for what you have. Because if we look at the father and son, they have almost nothing. They have each other and a couple belongings they carry in their backpacks and in their cart that they push. But yet they still appreciate each other and they enjoy each other's company. And they're grateful for what they have, even if they have something as simple as beans and some juice for dinner. That means the world to them, because that's a meal that normally they wouldn't really expect to have. So now that I've talked about the theme, the characters, and the setting of the story, I want to talk about Cormac McCarthy's writing style so far, and I find it very interesting and different, but I feel that it works really well with The Road, because the writing style is honestly a little unorganized, and whenever there's a conversation happening between the father and the son, and really those are the only conversations that happen in the book, there's no quotations, and it's just line, 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 line when a conversation is occurring. And I find that works really well because the writing style is kind of unorganized, but so is the world that's happening. I find it reflects really well, and I find it kind of interesting that Cormac McCarthy chose to do this writing style. To continue on with Cormac McCarthy's writing style, I find that he uses a lot of metaphors, which I think is very thought-provoking, especially since that there isn't a lot of dialect between the characters. So I feel that the metaphors are a way of communication about how the characters are truly feeling, and Cormac McCarthy uses that through metaphors. So for example, there's one that I really liked, and it was, "By day the banished sun circles the earth like a grieving mother with a lamp." And I thought that was kind of cool because it shows how like the earth is almost like motherless, that it kind of lost all of its humanity, and people are just killing each other just for survival. So that is the conclusion of my video book talk. I hope you enjoyed. Yay, The Road.